I am talking about Eye in the Sky, which is a new film out at the moment. I think probably the sort of the most notable thing about this film, the thing that's kind of getting a lot of attention, is the fact that it is the last film featuring Alan Rickman.
Is that not the Alice in Wonderland one?
Yeah, there's Alice Through the Looking
I guess
Glass.
Okay, it's the
It's the last.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
Isn't it? Yeah.
So, and I will say, I'll start by saying that normally when an actor has died, there'll be kind of quite a lot of clamour around the film, and often I find that their performance gets a bit overstated. Much sense, but if you see the film, it will make sense because he's like
Isn't this about drones?
Yes, but he's a sort of floundering father figure, but also a high-level military colonel.
Just like in Love Actually.
Just like
It's practically a sequel.
But basically, I think it is quite clever casting because the whole point is you're meant to think, oh, this man has a young daughter, which links to the sort of the
Right.
key narrative element, which is the fact that there is a drone strike going to be happening on this sort of building in which there are terrorists in this kind of like faux ISIS sort of group.
Right.
Obviously, they couldn't put ISIS in it. But basically, the operation is kind of faltered by this little girl who happens to be round the corner selling bread.
Yeah.
And that's not a spoiler to say that, because the tension of the film is, will the girl survive? Will they go ahead and press the button and fire? And I know that doesn't really sell the film, but it is genuinely quite tense. So you've got this kind of this deliberate setup of, oh, these people have children. Here is a child in, I think it's Ethiopia.
Right.
Feel sympathy. And that is probably the weakest point of the film, is the way it does really push this little girl in your face. Like, it really wants you to care about this little girl. And maybe it sounds really cold, but I didn't care about this little girl.
Newsflash: James hates kids.
I hate children, yeah. Massacre them all.
We're gonna cut that little clip out.
Yeah, no, that is not a view. So yeah, sort of in terms of the style of the film, it kind of has a sort of Paul Greengrass kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
Sort of, and I'm not just saying that because it has Bakad Abdi in it, who is again quite good, but sort of plays a similar role.
Academy Award nominee Barker.
Yeah, BAFTA winning.
Yeah.
BAFTA winning. I mean, he's good. Yeah, he pretty much plays the same role, kind of, in a way. But the thing that I thought the film did best was it kind of exposes this sort of all the problems of sort of bureaucracy and all this sort of decision making. And with a drone strike, it all comes down to someone pulling the trigger or giving the sort of the go ahead. And it shows that how no one wants to take responsibility of this, so they always they pass it on to their superiors, and it has the decision is sort of baited around several people, and it is a genuinely frustrating experience to watch it. And I thought that was quite good because I really thought the film was setting out to do that. It was setting out to frustrate you, and it was setting out to make you think, for goodness sakes, press the button. Shoot to kill.
Kill the children. Kill them.
But
Did
then
not
there's
think
this
that's what that
small
sentence
child
was
in the way. There's this small child in the way. But what I couldn't help but think, a lot of the people in the film are very bad at their jobs, and it's a sort of because they are sticking so closely to sort of Hollywood cliches in the all these sort of ethical, moral dilemmas that they're facing. And if they were actually people that were good at their jobs, they would have probably not even hesitated and pressed the button. Because because it is all justified, and they have to sort of work out the maths of the probabilities of. I'm not really selling the film here.
From the sounds, it just sounds
I'm
like.
to be honest, I think you've made it sound more appealing to me by making it because when you say that whole frustrating thing, it makes me think of like something like Zodiac and that kind of thing. Like, that sounds cool.
No, and it is like that in that sense. It is, you do really sort of share in that frustration, and it does feel, apart from what I've said about the characters and not being very good at their jobs, it does seem like it's quite a sort of a realistic account of how a sort of drone attack would go down.
Have you seen? There was another film about drones that came out last year called Good Kill.
No, I haven't
Ethan
seen
Hawke.
that.
It's terrible.
Is it bad?
It's so terrible. That's why I thought this would be terrible. Because it tried to do the whole drones, it's difficult being a drone pilot because you have to have the responsibility of killing innocent people, etc., etc. And it was just Ethan Hawke being a drunk and an abusive husband, and it was very, very boring.
Well, that was what I expected it to be more heavily leaning towards that side of a plot because it's got Aaron Paul in it. And I thought there would be a kind of, he'd have his own narrative and stuff. But Aaron Paul is basically just shown sort of doing his job. Just doing the job. And the film is basically centered around this drone attack.
So is it all in real time then?
Kind of, yeah.
So it's just one attack?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, which again I was surprised about. But it does, it does work quite well, and so that was good. But as I say, it did have a sort of a realistic kind of aesthetic to it. But there are some strange drone things. And I mean, I don't know what the latest drone technology is, but I don't know if they have drones that look like birds. And
I thought, that was weird in the trailer.
Yeah.
What, you mean the little bug thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that did look a bit strange.
Incredibles and Syndrome has that parrot.
They
as a robot. Yeah, it's
yeah.
Oh no, that made me throw the film out.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. And
if
so
it's
at that
trying to be
stage,
realistic,
I was sort of sniffing at it. But apart from that, and especially as I say, all the sort of all the corridors of power and all that sort of stuff, that did work really well. And I was left very frustrated, which I think is what the film was aiming to do. It was aiming to show the difficulties of making these decisions. And yeah, it was genuinely quite engaging. Most of the film, I kind of went through it thinking, right, yeah, 6, 7 out of 10. But actually, I have to sort of think of the experience of watching the film and the tension and stuff. And I do have to say that it's an 8 out of 10, really.
Oh, okay.
And I'm very pleasantly surprised with that.
Cool. There you go.
So there you go. 8 out of 10, Eye in the Sky.